It's that time again. It's Larry Steinhouse, and this is the Larry Steinhouse Show. Boy, am I having an awesome, good time. I got another 2.5 hours to go, and I am kicking ass. I'm actually still awake. I'm starting to see things. I'm starting to see double. So I'm watching two of you out there. So the two of you out there that are watching. Oh, that sounded terrible, didn't it? No, there's more than two of you watching. As a matter of fact, I'd like you to leave some comments because I've got my partner here, and I'm so excited. I've got my partner here, Phil Falcone. Say hi, Phil, because you are like such an awesome guy.
Hey, how's everybody out there doing today?
So I have to tell you guys, Phil started out as one of my mentors, and I always tell this story, and it's one of my favorite stories of my entire life, actually, of my growth. When I started to go to Phil's real estate investment seminars. He used to do meetings every Thursday or once a month on a Thursday. I used to go there, and he started to teach me some things about real estate, and I actually started to hang around Phil, and Phil would say to me, "You should quit your job because you'll make more money." And I always found that fascinating. Now he said a little bit differently than that, and it absolutely was true. In fact, I find it amazing that when I finally actually got fired, I didn't even quit. It took 6 months to make as much money as I was making before, and I was making six figures. It was a pretty decent number, right? Mm-hmm. That he was absolutely right. And last year I made about 4 times what I made at that point. So Phil, you got to tell me all about how you learned about real estate and why you do it.
Yeah, right after you show me where my commission check is.
I have to tell you, you've been asking for that same commission check forever. So what we decided to do, instead of giving you a commission check, is we're sharing in our new business called
Investor Schooling.
That's so cool, right? And both Phil and I are like so excited about this school. But why don't you tell us about it, Phil? Because I want to hear from you.
Yeah, Larry and I have decided to open up a school. We attended a school in Chicago that has a model that we thought was the greatest model for learning that I've ever seen. The enthusiasm, the energy, the way that they teach people. It's not a model where you fly into town, empty out your students' bank accounts, and then, split right after the weekend's over and go to another city and do it again. And then invite them to a 3-day seminar in San Antonio that's going to cost them another $3,000 to attend. Right. It's not like that. We are here in a physical location in the Philadelphia area. We're actually in Langhorne. And we have between 7 and 9 every Monday night, we have a mastermind meeting where students can stand up and talk about a deal that they have or a deal that they want to sell or a problem that they're occurring or anything that's going on in their lives, real estate or stock option related, and we can help them with that. Not just Larry and I, but all of the students, because it's an open forum that anyone is allowed to chime in and talk about. And then on Thursday nights, we have a traditional classroom where we teach the essentials of this business, the things that you must know, and you probably need to hear more than once to understand what it is you're supposed to be doing in this business as a real estate investor and as a stock option investor. So on Thursday night, we have a traditional class from 7 to 9, and on Monday nights, we have this mastermind meeting. And I believe this is the formula I've been looking for all my life. This is the greatest formula to learn this business and learn how to maximize your time and make as much money as possible in today's world. So come check it out.
You know what I really like about this is the fact that we're doing this together and we're having a really good time with it. One of the things that we've talked about before is how much fun we're having doing this. And, it's funny, we just sit there and we're teaching new students. I mean, we have some really successful students, too. We have people who, they've been in the class 6 weeks and they did their first Subject 2 deal. Nobody knows how to do Subject 2 deal. It's one of those crazy things. We have students doing 6 weeks, they're doing Subject 2 deals. We have a woman who also did a Subject 2 deal who never, ever did anything like this before. We have people making money in stock options. But it's fascinating to me. But I think what's really important is the credibility that both you and I have. Now, some people, and I hate to say it, but we both have haters, right? And the reason we have haters is because we're making too much money, right?
Well, if you start getting haters, you know you've achieved a certain plateau in life.
I have to agree with that. I think
Yeah.
that's exactly right. I think once you got people who don't like you, it's because you remind them of something they either have or don't have, right?
Well.
And most of the time, it's something that they don't have.
Well, I find a school very therapeutic because, after all, I am a documented, addicted to real estate guy. I'm an addict. That's right. I'm an addict, okay? I can't stop talking about real estate, thinking about real estate, doing things with real estate. And
you can't stop marketing your book, too, but go ahead.
Of course I can't. Why? Right? So one thing the school allows me to do is it gives me a place to go talk about real estate 4 hours a week, 2 hours on Monday, 2 hours on Thursday, as I just described. And my wife sure appreciates that because she gets tired of hearing about real estate deals from me. She's my living soundboard for all of my crazy ideas.
Well, so what are some of the things that you've invested in? Because again, we talked about us being credible people. I want people to understand how credible you are as a real estate investor, and then we'll talk about how credible I am as a stock options trader.
Well, I started in this business in 1989 at the age of 23. So I've been doing this full time for 29 years. I have invested in almost every segment of real estate a person can invest in. Okay, I started out doing buy and holds in Philadelphia because that's where I lived. I did single families, duplexes, triplexes, and quads. I owned at one point a whole lot of buildings in Northeast Philadelphia, which is where I lived. Makes sense to invest in where you live. Then I got involved in apartment buildings, office buildings. One of my largest holdings is a 47-unit executive suite center in Huntington Valley. I own beach houses in Florida. I own a mobile home park, which got turned into a tiny home park, vacation rentals, all kinds of different investment vehicles, a retail store that I have in Hatboro. So I'm in a little bit of everything. And, I guess it's part of the life of a real estate investor that you're always searching for the next best thing. And the truth is they all have their pros and cons. And, you can be successful in any number of different ways in the real estate investing business that you want to be. It's a beautiful thing. You just have to pick what you feel like doing.
So how does someone become a real estate investor, in your opinion?
It really, the best way to do it, okay, you can do it the way most people do it, which is a school of hard knocks, which basically means no school. Okay? You go out and you just make a bunch of stupid moves and you make mistakes until you get yourself in some trouble. And then the much smarter way is to learn from somebody who knows how to do it, because if they're genuine, if they're honorable, they're going to protect you from doing the stupid things, and you're going to put you on a path to success faster than you're going to get there any other way.
Yeah, I have to say, and part of the reason why I was attracted to you is because I needed a mentor. I had just come out of bankruptcy when I met you. I had just come out of bankruptcy, and I was a real estate investor. I thought I was a real estate investor before the bankruptcy because I invested in a lot of houses, right? Because that would make me a real estate investor. But I didn't realize that I wasn't a real estate investor until I had to figure out how to buy houses with a 420 credit score and no money. And when I was able to do that, that's when I realized I had become a real estate investor because it makes a big difference.
I know a little bit about that subject of buying properties. Buying properties with none of your own money. So much so that I wrote a book on the subject. What this book is really about is I went down to Florida in 2012. People were always trying to get me down to Florida, inviting me to seminars to invest in Florida in 2007 and 2008. Thank God I didn't listen to them, okay? I had a sense of what was going on with market cycles enough to know that I didn't think it was a good move at that time. But I went down in 2012, which was a wonderful time to go down there, and I bought many, many millions of dollars worth of property with none of my own money. And you can read all about it in this book. You can even, if you're in Sarasota, you can drive by the addresses. You can actually see the real deals. And I love to talk about it all the time. Right here in the school, I constantly talk about some of the no money down deals that I've done in Florida, which is, something really worth learning.
Yeah, when you're going to learn how to buy properties, if you want to learn how to buy properties with no money down, and it's not no money down, it's no money out of your pocket, right? Because there are times where I'll put tons of money down on a property, It just
I'm not saying it's no money. I'm
right.
saying it's
no money
none
out of your own
of
pocket, right?
your
None of
own money.
Exactly
Right.
right. And that's what the key is, because people don't get it. They're like, no money down. You can't buy a house with no money down. You're right. I'm not buying a house with no money down. I'm buying a house with other people's money. And we were talking about this last night. We did a mixer, which was kind of cool. We did it at Chambers 19. We did a real estate mixer. A bunch of real estate investors got together, and we were having this conversation the other day about other people's money last night. And I thought it was when I was younger, I used to see these advertisements for, we're going to teach you real estate how to use other people's money, and I thought it was the most hysterical thing ever. I thought that this was impossible. Who in the world would lend you money on a real estate deal? Now, I don't have enough real estate deals for all the lenders that want to lend me money. That's how it's changed.
Let me tell you something. I remember watching TV with my mother, and a Carlton Sheets commercial came on. And it was all about how to buy houses with none of your own money. And my mom, after the commercial was over, my mom says, "Hey, Phil, do you think it's possible to buy houses with none of your own money?" I said, "How the hell should I know? I'm 9 years old." Okay? But that's where it started. A light bulb went off. Maybe you can. Maybe I can. Maybe he can.
Yeah, and it's amazing, because I remember sitting in one of your seminars when I learned Subject to, and I thought you guys were insane. I didn't think that anyone would ever do why would anybody let you take over their mortgage payment, right? At the risk of you not paying their payment and it showing up in their credit score. And I'm sitting there going, there's no way anybody would do this. Well, 6 weeks later, the opportunity appeared in front of me that someone said that they had a property they couldn't get rid of. And I said, well, what if I could take over your mortgage payments and take over the property? And their reaction was, can you really do that? And I was like, well, yeah. And I said, yeah, let's do it. And, of course, I had no idea how to do it. I kind of knew how to do it, because I was talking to Phil. And I went back. I said, Phil, I got this Subject to deal. I don't know what to do. Tell me how to do it. Tell me how to do it. So we went back. We did it. And now, I actually, at this point, I love Subject to. It's absolutely my favorite way to buy properties. In fact, I know it's funny, Phil, your favorite way to buy properties is seller financing.
Yes.
Mine is Subject to. And I go out there, and I want to hear one of two things when I go out there. When I ask, how much money do you own a property? My two favorite answers are more than it's worth or nothing. And those are the two. The first one is a Subject to deal, and the second one is a seller financing deal. We're sitting right now in my office that I bought seller financing. And what was the interest that I pay on this, Phil? 0%.
How'd you like to get a 0% interest loan?
From a seller that just wants to sell their property.
Right.
And not only that, they're anxious and willing. Not only anxious and willing to do it, they're so happy that they did it. It's the wildest thing.
I'll tell you something, Larry. When you were in New York at your big gala event last week,
Sure.
I took 2 hours to teach the class about something, okay, where I wrote a presentation called "The Key to the Home is the Loan," all right? Or "The Loan is the Key to the Home." Any
Sure,
way you want to say.
I have to see the video.
Right?
I'm terrible. Yeah.
And what I did was I created a simple chart for our students to understand that if the house has no loan, you are to ask this question. If the house has a big loan, you are to ask this question.
Awesome.
If the house is underwater, and there's a series of scenarios. We're not going to go through them all right now. But I gave them a very simple explanation. And I didn't tell them, you have to get the seller to agree to a Subject to deal. All I said is, your job as an investor is to make sure that in this particular scenario, you must ask the question. That's all. Just ask the question. I'm setting them up with a foundation where if they begin to ask that question, it'll become very natural for them over time. And I even gave them a nice story to tell. A story that I often use about ways to convince people, for example, to do a Subject to mortgage. But the key to it all was just teach them to ask the question. If they begin to sit in front of sellers, and every time they sit in front of somebody who doesn't have any mortgage on the house, they ask for seller financing and begin to explain how it works. That is the first step to making it happen. And that's what I want to break down for people. Make it super simple and easy for them to do what we do.
And that's a good point. Once people have ideas on how to do it, They just need the confidence to learn how to do it. And a lot of times I find it funny because we'll sit in with classes and we may teach them something that we know that comes very natural to us. I mean, it's very natural for you and I. Look, we're clearly natural-born salespeople, right? Which I don't even believe there's such a thing. But if you want to call it that, we're clearly natural-born salespeople. However, what we've done, that's all right, don't worry about it. What we've done is we have the confidence to go out and try something. So a lot of times we're just teaching flat out confidence. And now that you have a script and you have a business card and you have things that you didn't have yesterday, you can now go out with confidence and start asking these questions and start helping people get out of their problem, and at the same time you get a property or make money. And that's the key. The key is helping other people.
Right before I came down here, your wife told me not to be shy.
I can imagine, right? I could just imagine.
Obviously, she was being sarcastic.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
Because the two of us, she makes fun of me in my money jacket that I wore last night. She says I'm always in my shell.
So, what kind of time do we got left? Let's try to give some real content here to people.
Yeah, so you've got about 10 minutes. So
Okay.
what would you like to talk about?
Well, here's what I'd like to say to people who are listening to this, who are interested in learning a little bit about what I might know. I believe that I'm in a position now, after 29 years. First of all, if you're in anything for 29 years and you haven't figured it out by now, you might have some serious problems I can't help you with, okay? All right? I feel at this point I've mastered this business and one thing that works for me is I like things to be simple. I don't have complex solutions to problems. I have very simple solutions to problems because it's just the way my brain works. You can surround me with a whole lot of chatter about problems, but all I know how to do is go from A to B as quickly as possible and make it happen because that's just the way I'm wired, right? And when I share that with people, I've noticed something. It resonates with them. They get it, all right? Because the way I teach people is a straight shooting, simple answer to figure this business out. I have figured this business out. I don't go around and try to do creative financing real estate deals because I wrote a book on it. I do it because the opportunity exists all over the place. You just need to learn how to recognize that opportunity, ask the right questions at the right time, and you're going to hit it. You know, there's plenty of it. Sometimes what I do is I offer multiple offers to people. I offer a cash offer to buy someone's house, and I also combine it with a creative offer. So, for example, if somebody had a subject-to loan, that somebody had a loan that was, the same value of the house, I might offer them a much lower cash offer, but offer them a full price subject-to offer.
Or more.
Yeah, sure.
I know I bought houses that are. I pose this question to our audience quite often. I say, would you buy a house worth $140,000 and pay $170,000 for it? And of course, everyone and anybody listening to this would have said no.
Right.
But would you?
Of course.
Of course you would, because
Right.
you understand that I took that house subject to. It cost me $950 out of my pocket, which is amazing to me, still to this day, and I make $350 a month on that property. How do you say no to that deal, right?
It's an amazing business we're in. And if you just learn from somebody who's really doing it, not somebody who's going to fly into town on a jet and give you a 3-day workshop and empty your bank account out, all right? Somebody who's going to help you, going to be here in a physical location in your town, who's going to be available to come out on a sales call with you and help you close it, and going to be here to help you with the problems that are going to come up in this business. And that's what we do here at Investor School.
Yeah, we offer something that no one else does. And, I don't necessarily, I don't knock anyone else that's teaching this education. I just say what we offer is better and happens to be less expensive. What's cool about what we do is what Phil just said. We'll actually go out and we'll actually close a deal for you. We will help you on your behalf, whether you make us a partner in the deal or not make us a partner in the deal. It's up to you. We will help you actually close the deal. I've gone out on appointments with my students and closed the deal for them, done everything for them, shook their hand and said, hey, this is awesome, man. I'm so excited. You now own a property. And that's happened a couple of times. And I've actually helped people where, they're in the middle of a deal and something goes wrong. And say, okay, let me see if I can help you fix that problem, and this is how I would fix it. And sure enough, we're on the phone. I was on the phone with the title company at a closing, because something went bad in the deal, and it was a minor thing. And I said, okay, this is how you solve it. I told the title company what to do to solve the problem. I mean, who in the world does that? No one does that. No, there's no school out there in the world that could do that could help you talk to the title company and solve the problem that the buyer had when they were buying this property.
I can't think of a single situation where I've ever heard of any guru doing that.
Right.
Going out on an
Exactly.
appointment with the student. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something more important.
Sure.
How you holding up, man? You've been out here 9.5 hours.
You had to go and remind me.
You got to be wigging out a little bit. I don't know.
I'm telling you, I'm starting to get tired. I've got 2 hours left. I'm starting to get tired, and it's kind of cool. I'm actually really enjoying it. This has actually been a really fun time.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, you're not done when you're done, because then
I
you're
know we got to
come
go
up-
upstairs. I know. It's funny. So what Phil's talking about is on Thursday nights. So every Thursday night we have a class. Now, by the way, this is our website, just to show you. So if you go to investorschooling.com, you can see where it says join us this Thursday night and get ready to quit your day job, which is the truth, because we will teach you how to quit your day job, because hey, I did it. But I'm also going to tell you, don't quit your day job the first time you come here. It's going to take you a little while. You fill out this little form down here. You can RSVP for today's class or any other class. It doesn't really matter which class you want to go to. Any Thursday night, we can have you. And we will give you a free class. And we don't give you a free class like come in, it's a free sales pitch. It's not. You actually sit in the classes with our students, just like you are a regular student. And you get to sit in that class and find out what we know and what we're going to teach you. I'm going to teach you both stock options and real estate. And when we're teaching you this, you're going to see that we teach it. We have passion. We love it. And I promise you that even if you show up for one class and never come back, you will learn a ton of stuff in the 2 hours you spend with us. We're also going to invite you back for a mastermind meeting on Mondays, and the mastermind meeting is so different than anything you've ever seen. We're sitting there and we're discussing deals. The first question, we start the mastermind meeting off, and the first question is, all right, who's got a deal? And we're talking about the deal, and we're talking about what's going on in the deal, how to make it better, how to structure it, how to fix it, how to buy it, what it's worth. We'll give you our assessment of the ARV, which is important. And then, of course, we go to the stock market and we say, okay, this is a great stock option. This is not a great stock option. This is why you should buy this. This is why you shouldn't buy this. I don't want to know, Phil, because I haven't looked all day.
We had a good day.
Oh, we did? Oh, good. Okay.
We had a very good day.
That's good. I'm going to be looking forward to that. What Phil's talking about is, I've been locked up in this room all day, and I had to turn my phone off because I have to look at the stock market during the day to see where my stocks are doing. So I had two that are panicking me. One is Alcoa and one is Facebook. And I'm assuming that Phil's referring to the fact that both of them did very well today, and that makes me feel really happy. So now I have 2 more hours of super psyched before I get to look at it. I don't even want to look at it right now because I want to get super psyched and just take a look at it.
Well, we had you don't want me to tell you?
No, don't tell me yet.
Okay.
Tell me later because I'll get all excited. That'll keep me going for the class tonight when we talk about
Okay.
how what the rules of the crazy options traders say and that they really did come true. You know what? We have about 1 minute left. So what do you want to leave the audience with, Phil?
The main thing that I'll say to somebody, if you want to learn stock options, if you want to learn real estate, you got to learn it from somebody who's really living it. We don't just teach this stuff. We do it. We do a lot of real estate deals, and you'll figure that out real quick if you come hang around with us, because we talk about the deals that we're doing right now. Why wouldn't you? I'm addicted to real estate. I don't have a choice. It's all I ever talk about. So come out, see what we're all about. You can go to investorschooling.com and get the address and find out what times it is. We like the new students to come out on Thursday nights. So if you can't make it to this Thursday night, come out next week on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Address is on the website, investorschooling.com. I'm Phil Falcone, and I look forward to meeting you soon.
And I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I'm going to be sitting here for another 2 hours. And wave goodbye, Phil.
All right, adios, people.